Welcome to my views on news. First news story is about Asmara airport. For the last 3 days, some opposition Eritrean groups based abroad have been claiming, some pro-Tigray analysts and news sources as well, that Asmara airport had been closed to commercial flights, and the airport will be used for a massive air campaign, airstrikes on Tigray. But an expert just a few minutes ago shared information about flight operations at Asmara airport. Has the airport been closed, or flight operations are continuing as usual? Secondly, the Tigray regional government released a statement today about Edi Dairo drone strike which happened on Tuesday. Number of casualties has risen, and reportedly the area, the place which was hit, was an IDP camp, and it was communicated by UN agencies to Ethiopian federal government. The place was being used as a camp for IDPs. Despite this communication between aid organizations and Ethiopian government, this place was hit. And lastly, viewers, William Ruto, newly elected president of Kenya, is due to visit Ethiopia this week. It's very significant that when Hassan Sheikh was elected, he visited all neighboring countries except Ethiopia. He visited Ethiopia almost 3 to 4 months after his election, but it seems that Ethiopia would be one of the first countries to be visited by newly elected president of Kenya. What does it indicate? Firstly, viewers, Asmara airport, is it closed? Is it closed for its use to bombard Tigray? Because for the last 2 to 3 days, we have been seeing reports, claims that Ethiopian and Eritrean Air Force were planning a major air campaign on Tigray. Asmara airport would be the center, and that is why airport was being closed to commercial flights. Today, an expert shared details of flight operations from Asmara airport in Eritrea. Flight operations of international airlines are going as usual. There is nothing special. Flight operations have not been suspended. Airport is not closed to commercial flights. Ethiopian Airlines, Fly Dubai of the UAE, and Egypt Air of Egypt are conducting flights as usual. On the 4th of October, on the 5th of October, flights were seen of Ethiopian Airlines, Fly Dubai, and Egypt Air landing and taking off from Asmara airport. It means that rumors were being spread. Airport is not closed. Secondly, I want to speak on one point regarding Eritrean opposition groups. I have noticed that some Eritrean opposition groups based abroad are sharing disinformation. They have been struggling for years to remove Isaias Afwerki, protesting as well. Some of them suffered at the hands of Eritrean government of Isaias Afwerki. And indirectly they support Tigray's war, they support Tigray against Eritrean government. But they have been sharing some misinformation or disinformation, and perhaps it's a way of creating pressure international pressure upon the Eritrean government, that an attempt is being made to build some international pressure on Eritrean government by these Eritrean opposition groups. They should be careful in reporting, because technology is very advanced now. Obviously, all rumors cannot be debunked, but several can be. Like, it's clear that Asmara airport is not closed. Commercial flights are landing and taking off from the airport. Secondly, viewers, Tigray regional government today released a formal statement about the drone strike which was conducted by Ethiopian Air Force on Tigray on Tuesday. 65 were killed in Tuesday's drone strike and 87 were wounded, according to fresh statement by Tigray authorities. Kebrom Gebreselassie, Kebrom, who is Makele hospital doctor, he and the doctors also claimed that 87 were injured and 65 were killed in Tuesday's drone strike. And according to Reuters, a news source, the drone strike was conducted on a school which was being used as an IDP camp. And the site was being used obviously by aid agencies which had access to this point, to this place, because they were providing aid to the people at the school. Reuters claims that UN shared details of IDP sites with Ethiopian federal government some time ago. So Ethiopian government was aware that this place was being used as IDP camp. Still, drone strike was conducted on this IDP camp, in which 65 were killed. Ethiopian government must clarify. It's a serious allegation. I have been speaking in previous videos that air strikes, drone strikes were being conducted close to deconflicted areas. This IDP camp was a deconflicted area. So why was a drone strike conducted on a deconflicted area, which was being used by UN authorities, aid agencies in Tigray? Tigray government in its statement again lashed out at the international community. Tigray government said international community should do more. It should not be silent. It should speak. It should condemn what is happening. It should stop the genocide, the killings of innocent Tigrayans in Ethiopia, in Tigray especially. Lastly, viewers, William Ruto is the newly elected president of Kenya. He is going to start his visit of neighboring countries, and Ethiopia would be one of the first countries that William Ruto is going to visit this week. Reportedly, he'll arrive in Ethiopia this week. That just shows that PM Abiy Ruto relations are going to be friendly, and some analysts, some groups which oppose Ethiopian federal government, they were supporting Raila Odinga, the challenger to William Ruto. Raila Odinga has lost. William Ruto won the election. He is the president of Kenya. And in a statement a few days ago, when William Ruto was interviewed by Al Jazeera, he appreciated PM Abiy, and he said PM Abiy was necessary for peace and stability in the Horn of Africa. So it seems that Kenya, Ethiopia, Abiy Ruto relations will become stronger in coming days. Tigray regional government has not officially congratulated William Ruto so far. When Hassan Sheikh was elected as the president of Somalia in May this year, Tigray president had written a letter of congratulation to Hassan Sheikh, president of Somalia, but no letter of congratulation from Tigray regional president to William Ruto. That just shows that Tigray was hoping and it was expecting that Raila Odinga would be the next president of Kenya, and but William Ruto is now the new president and he's going to visit Ethiopia in coming days. Hassan Sheikh visited Ethiopia around 3 to 4 months after he took office. There remain tensions between Hassan Sheikh and Abiy for months. But William Ruto is going to arrive in Ethiopia this week. That just shows that the two leaders will have very close ties in coming days and months. Can this visit pave the way for the resolution to Tigray conflict? Kenya is concerned about conflict in its neighborhood. Obviously, instability in Ethiopia will creep into Kenya as well. But war is in northern part of Ethiopia, which does not share border with Kenya. Had there been war in Oromia, it would have been more concerning for Kenyan government. OLA has been involved in cross-border infiltrations into Kenya and from Kenya into Ethiopia for years. And refugees have been crossing into Kenya from Ethiopia as well. So at this point of time, Kenya is not directly affected by this war. We have not seen massive influx of refugees from Ethiopia into Kenya. Weak Addis Ababa will result in strong Nairobi. Both are competitors when it comes to becoming hub of economic, diplomatic activities in Eastern Africa. Addis Ababa was ahead of Nairobi, I think, but now after the start of this war, Nairobi is ahead of Addis Ababa because of the war, because of economic problem, because of internal issues. So, weak Ethiopia suits Kenya, but a destabilized Ethiopia where instability is close to Kenyan borders, it does not suit Kenya. Thank you for watching.